This is here, right?
Toma, mamá, mira. No por ahí, mira. Mira, ponlo ahí. Ponlo ahí, ponlo. Corre, ponlo ahí. Ponlo ahí. Ay, qué lindo. Gracias. Thank you. ¿Te gusta, mamá? Mira, otra. Toma, toma. Pon otra.
Mira,
Una.
Gracias.
Ay,
Mira, dale la mía.
no, ponla tú.
No, ponla ahí. Ponla, mamá.
Dile gracias.
Sí.
¿Sí?
Ponla aquí así.
Ponla aquí. ¿Sí?
Ay, sí. No llega. Mira. Ya puso una. ¿Qué? ¿A qué hora tú tienes que salir? Una hora.
So Miriam, tell me a little bit about today.
Today is a day of remembrance of 4 innocent people that were sacrificed for saving the lives of those that were perishing at sea. And their mission was to spot rafters and give them water when they needed that, and a two-way radio to communicate with them. And for doing that good deed, the government of Cuba hated them because they were spraying love to the people that were leaving oppression, and the oppressor disliked that. So they made it a point to destroy those little planes that were helping people escape from Cuba. And they accomplished their goal by murdering them in a premeditated act of terror in plain daylight in international airspace on February 24th, 1996. It's 13 years of that crime, and one of the brothers in crime is now the new elected dictator of the island of Cuba. That elected dictator chose February 24th as the day to proclaim himself the dictator of Cuba. And so today we mourn and we celebrate the lives of these 4 wonderful human beings: Armando, Pablo, Carlos, and my son Mario, who in an unselfish way used to volunteer their time, their talent as pilots, and their efforts to rescue and search for those stranded at sea. So it's another day, it's another year of trying to find justice. The two pilots, 2 MiG pilots from the Cuban Air Force, have been indicted in the United States, and so has the general that gave the orders to the pilots, Martinez Puentes. But the higher-ups, the ones that gave the orders to that general, which came straight from Raúl Castro, the self-proclaimed new commander-in-chief of Cuba, is still roaming free, celebrating his 1 year of ruling the island under oppression.
And also Gerardo Sanchez. Who's he?
Gerardo Hernandez. He is one of the 5 Cuban spies serving life sentences in the United States. He was the head of a spy ring that infiltrated the United States with false identification. They had infiltrated U.S. naval base, and their mission was to get national security information from the U.S. The Boca Chica naval base in the Keys in South Florida. That was one of their missions. They had many. And Gerardo Hernandez is serving 2 life sentences because he collaborated. He is one of the conspirators in the death of our 4 loved ones. Brothers to the Rescue was a very open organization of volunteers, and one of those volunteers was Juan Pablo Roque. He was part of that spy ring called the WASP network, and Juan Pablo Roque was flying with Brothers to the Rescue as a imposter. Gerardo Hernandez's mission was to alert Juan Pablo Roque not to fly on the day that Cuba had premeditated the murder for, which was between February, around the 24th of February. So Gerardo Hernandez conveyed that message to Juan Pablo Roque so that he would not fly. And he told Roque that if he, for any reason, had to fly that day, he gave him a code of what he needed to say once he was on the plane to communicate with the Cuban control tower. And so Gerardo was found guilty under a due process in the United States. It was a 7-month-long trial in South Florida. The jurors had no Cuban Americans as part of it. It was a very fair trial, and so they were found guilty, and they're serving their life sentence.